Hey, hi guys, this is Bakkappa. Welcome back to Test Automation Tool Selenium. In this video tutorial, we'll talk about how to automate web application by using Selenium C#.NET and NUnit unit testing framework. Let us jump to our high-level agenda for the today's session. First, we'll see how to set up the Selenium C#.NET environment for automating web applications. Next, we'll discuss what is the NUnit framework, and we'll be discussing what are the features available in the NUnit framework, and then we'll be discussing attributes which are available in NUnit framework. So NUnit is a open source unit testing framework for all Microsoft.NET frameworks, and it works same as JUnit or TestNG framework does in the Java. So in the same way, JUnit and TestNG framework, those unit testing framework will be using in Java, kind of doing unit testing or writing the Selenium Java automation scripts. So in the same way, we'll be using a NUnit framework, testing framework for automating our Selenium C# scripts. So basically, a NUnit is written in C#. So this is the official website of the NUnit framework. So these are the features which are available under NUnit testing framework. The first one is you can run your test parallelly, and you can categorize your test cases, say for example, if you want to group test cases like smoke testing or regression testing or user acceptance testing. So in such a way that we can categorize your test cases by using the NUnit testing framework, and you can skip test because of the defects or some changes in the environment. So also you can set the order of the test, which you can set the order for the test running. Say for example, you have 100 tests. If you want to run 100 tests as a first test case, so you need to just provide the order or a priority for that particular 100 test, so that it can run at the first time before running all other 99 test scripts. You can do parameterization as well. You can send the parameters to that particular test cases, and you can do data driven testing by using the NUnit testing framework. Let us jump to the next slide. So these are the set of attributes available under this particular namespace, that is called NUnit.framework namespace. So in case of Java, you will be getting an import followed by the class names and all. So here you will be calling as namespace. So these are the attributes will be coming under this particular namespace. So we'll discuss one by one what are these all the attributes are. Few of the attributes we'll discuss in today's Selenium C#.NET tutorial, and few of the attributes we'll discuss in upcoming Selenium C#.NET tutorials. So let us jump to the Visual Studio here. I'll discuss one by one here what exactly here this TestFixture attribute, OneTimeSetUp attribute, and OneTimeTearDown attribute. All this, how you can use it in the test scripts, and what is the usage of each of the attributes, I'll discuss one by one. So let us jump to the Visual Studio. Okay, so before creating our project, we need to install this particular NUnit Visual Studio template. Then after that, we need to include these DLL files. So basically, in Visual Studio, there are many versions are available. So I'm using Visual Studio Community version, which is free for all the students, or you can, if someone is practicing, you can use that community version. So in the same way, we have Visual Studio Professional version, and Visual Studio Enterprise version. So basically professional version and enterprise versions will be using in organization levels. So in my case I have installed Visual Studio Community version. So let us open that particular Visual Studio here. So I have installed 2017 version. So first time you will be getting this particular window when you opened it. Let me know where, if you are facing any issues while installing the Visual Studio. It will take a little bit more time. Just have a patience and get it download and just you install it. If you found any difficulties in installing it, just let me know. So here what you need to do is, if you refer to this particular text file, so before creating this particular any of the projects, we need to install NUnit Visual VS template. So how you can install that particular DL in your Visual Studio is, that is a only one time work. So next time no need of installing it. So I have already installed it and I'll show you how to install for the new users. Go to the tools and select extensions and updates. So here you will see all this install tab, online tab and updates tab and roaming extension manager. So click on online and here you can see one search box. So here you just enter this particular NUnit VS template text into the search box. So it will automatically searches that relevant all the results will be returned to you. Just a second because I think my system got stuck. Okay, now. So if you see here, one after entering this particular one, particular text into the search box, you are getting many results here. See, if you look at here, it is already installed in my system. Once you installed in your system, you will be seeing this particular tick mark in a green color. Actually, this one is not installed. So just you need to install this particular, you need to download it and you need to install it. So I have, in my case, I have already installed. That's the reason it is showing me the right mark with the green color. So let me close this particular window. So now let us start with creating the project. So click on file, go to the new, and here you select the project. So because of installing this particular software NUnit VS template, you'll be seeing that particular feature under the install tab. So under the install, you go to the Visual C# and you select as a test. Then you select the NUnit 3 unit test project. And here you can specify the solution name and the project name. What I'll specify the solution name is, here I'll just specify Selenium C#. This is my solution name and I'll specify the project name here. Selenium C# tutorials. That's all. And if you want, you can just change this particular location where you want to store this particular project. In my case, I'm just changing this into the different location. Okay, here I'm just creating one folder called So here I have created one folder called Selenium C sessions. That's all. So I will select this particular folder and that's it. Then you click on this OK button. So here it is giving you the project solution name does not contain. So it is related to the name which we have provided here, the project name and the solution name. So let me change this into the different one. So I'll write here, I'm writing just Selenium C sharp, and in the same case I'm providing the project name. That's all. So here I have specified the solution name as Selenium C sharp and project name as Selenium C sharp tutorials. Just click on OK. Okay, that's all. Now the part is we need to install all the DLL files into the project. So let us install one by one. Sorry guys. So how you can install this, all the Selenium and the Chrome driver for launching the web browser, and this particular test NUnit 3 test adapter will be using for displaying all your test scripts, and these two will be using for interaction with the web application, and this is our web browser. So first I will install test adapter. So what you need to do is just, this is a project which we have created just now. This is solution name which we have given, and this is the project name what we have given. And under one solution you can have multiple projects. In my case I have created only one project. So you can right click on this and you can say add new project, and you can add multiple projects under the same solution. So we need to install these softwares. So let us go and install those softwares. So right click on this references and select manage NuGet packages. So here you will be seeing browse, install and updates. So what you need to do is here just you enter that particular test. I'm entering NUnit 3 test adapter. So here it is showing me this particular NUnit 3 test adapter. So even we need to concentrate on this particular version. So I wanted to install this 3.10.0. So here I got, if you see this one, here you will be seeing all the versions. So whichever we want, just you select it here. So in my case I want 3.10.0. so say just install it. So you'll be seeing one message here. Once it is finished, that means that particular software got installed. So you need to add another 3 softwares, I mean the DLLs. So here my version is 3.11.0. So this is my selenium.webdriver. I wanted to install 3.11.0. So this particular version I'm looking at. You select this particular version whichever you want and say install. Yes, here you can see that it is finished. So let us install Selenium support. So I wanted to install same version, that is 3.11.0. See guys, once it is finished, this particular software will be showed as uninstalled. Previously it was installed because you have already installed, so that's the reason it's showing as uninstalled. Then we need to install Chrome driver for browser related thing. So here I need to select 2.38.0, just say install. That's all guys, installation part is done. And if you go to the packages, here we'll be seeing what are the softwares you have installed. We have installed this particular NUnit 3 test adapter and Selenium support and Selenium WebDriver and Selenium.WebDriver.Chrome driver. So those whatever you have added DLLs, that comes under the packages.config file. So let us open this sample file which we have got while creating the project. So let us discuss with respect to the attributes, and we will write one sample script and we will start discussing few of the attributes which exist under the NUnit.framework namespace. So let us delete this thing. So first you need to confirm whether Selenium is got installed or not. So how you can do that is here under just say using keyword, then open QA.Selenium. So that means Selenium got installed. So once you are able to see this all the options under the namespace, that is fine. So that means Selenium is got installed. So I will in the same way I'll in Java you will be importing all the drivers and Selenium support related things, but in C# by using Selenium C# you will be importing by using statement. So here I'll import Chrome browser, that's all. See guys, first we'll go with respect to the attributes what we have. The first attribute is TestFixture attribute. So basically this is the attribute we'll be using for the representation of the classes. TestFixture attribute is nothing but. Then we have a test attribute. Test attribute is nothing but if you add like this, multiple attributes, I mean the multiple tests. These are nothing but the multiple test cases we have. So to represent any test cases we will be using the attribute test. So let us write in a simple Selenium C# automation script. So what I will do is simply I will launch one web browser, and then I will enter this particular URL and I'll try to enter something in this particular email field, text field. Then we will close the web browser. Then we will discuss different attributes from the NUnit testing framework. So here I am creating the object of the Chrome driver. Then this we need to assign into the interface called iWebDriver. That's all, because we have already imported this particular driver here. So that's the reason we are not getting any error here. So once we open this particular browser, we need to enter the facebook.com into this particular in search box, then after that we'll be performing some operation in this text field. So let me copy this particular URL. What I will do is I will use the driver object dot. So I wanted to enter the URL, so that's the reason I'll call to the one inbuilt method called URL, and I'll assign that URL to this particular URL. So that's all. So this particular first line will launch me the Chrome driver, and then it will enter this particular URL. Then I wanted to find this particular email text field, so I'll inspect this particular web element. So if you look at here, there are many fields. So here I'll write the XPath for identifying this particular text box. Just press Ctrl F, then you'll be seeing this particular search box. So here I'll identify this particular web element by using the ID is equal to email. So we have many fields, so I'll take the ID for identifying this email text box. So what I'll do is dot to /* indicates any of the tags, and here I'm identifying that particular web element by using the ID. Then I'll specify the value as the email. So if you look at here, it is matching with only one web element. It is highlighting to this particular web element. So just copy this. By using the driver object, I will find that particular web element by XPath. That's all. So this is my web element. So I will assign this to the iWeb element interface. Here I'm giving a web element name as a email text field. Then by using this particular text field, I will enter something to this particular text box. So web element dot, then I wanted to enter something into that particular field. I'll be calling to the send keys method. So here I'm entering Selenium C# over to the email field in a web page. So that's all. And after that, just I will close the web browser. I'll use the driver object dot, I'll say quit. That's all simple. So in my case, only one test is available. So I just before installing, I said that usage of this particular NUnit 3 test adapter is to display the number of test scripts we have in this particular project. So that how you can get it in the this particular window is go to the test and say select Windows, then Test Explorer. So that should become under this particular Test Explorer left side. So if it is not coming, just go to this particular solution, right click on this, rebuild solution. Now you can see, right, this is a particular test method or a test case we have in current situation. So this is a method name which will be displayed under here. So how we can run this particular test script is right click on this, can select run test. Simply it is entering that particular text into that text box, and simply it is closing the web browser. So that's all. For the first one is a test fixture attribute and second one is a test attribute. Let us discuss one time setup and one time teardown attribute. Basically, one time setup is, say for example, if I have 50 test scripts, so in that case only one time my particular browser should be running and only one time my particular browser should be closing, means I'll be using one time setup and one time teardown. So let us implement how you can implement this particular one time setup and one time teardown attribute. So what I will do is I will create one separate folder. There will implement one time setup and one time teardown, those attributes. So I wanted to add one simple folder called base class. Under that I will create one more class. Just specify the class name. So here I'll specify base test. So I'll represent this class as a public. That's all. So let us implement one time setup and one time teardown. Basically, when we have 50 test scripts, these two methods will be working only one time. Before running all 50 test scripts, one time setup or attribute will work, and after running all the test scripts, one time teardown attribute will be working. So let us create one method called public void open. Then I'll create same way another method called, let me represent this particular method as attribute, as a one time attribute. That's all. Maybe we have not imported a NUnit framework, there's a reason it is giving us error. Just click on that, just press Control dot, then here it is suggesting you to use import that particular NUnit dot framework. Just click on that. So now this particular using statement got added into the top. In the same way, we'll add one more method. So this is one time setup and this is one time teardown. Okay, that's all. So I'll change the method name as a close. That's all. So I'll go to my test class. Here I have created one test script. This will launch the Chrome browser and it will launch us. It will enter this particular URL. Then it will find this particular web element, that is a email field. Then it will enter this particular text into that particular field. Then it will simply close the web browser. So what I will do is, so I will take this particular two lines. So this launches the browser and it will enter this particular URL. So I'll keep this into the base class, base test. Then I'll go to the test class and closing this particular browser, right? So I'll take this, I will cut this particular statement, I'll paste it under the close attribute, I mean the one time teardown attribute. So in one time setup, this will launch us the browser and it will enter this particular URL. So let me clear this particular errors. Just click on this WebDriver and just press Control dot. It will ask you to use it, import these things, just import it. Just press Control dot. That's all. So here you are getting still one more error because driver is not a global variable here. So I will take this particular interface. I'll make this as a public, so this particular interface reference can be used by the subclasses as well. So that's all. So in my test class we have only 2 lines of code. So basically this reduces the number of lines you are writing in a test script to creating particular test case. So still we are getting one error here. So we need to we need to use the inheritance concept so that we can inherit all the properties from this particular base test class. So before that you need to do one thing, that is called, you need to use this particular namespace into the subclass what we have called test class. So I will say using that's all. In case of C sharp, if we need to inherit some properties from the other classes, we need to use the colon symbol followed by the class name. Class name we have called base test. So this is a test we have created under base class. So now everything is fine. So before running this particular script, I will build this particular solution. So you can clean it one time and you can say rebuild this particular solution. So if any errors are there, it will be showing under here. So there are 0 failures and 0 skipped, and it will be showing you the how many succeeded also. So basically we have reduced the number of number of lines of code writing in the while creating our test scripts. So if you run this particular test script, you can right click and you can run this particular script. That is a one case. And second case, you can right click on this particular method and you can select the option as run selected test. Okay, it is successfully running, so no issues with this particular test case. So like this you can add multiple Selenium C# automation scripts. So just I will change the method names. I'll give test method 1, test method 2 and test method 3. That's all. So total we have 3 automation scripts with a less number of lines. So basically when you are inheriting some other classes, so that will reduce the number of lines you are writing under the test scripts. So if you rebuild this particular solution, you'll be getting all the 3 methods over here. So whichever method you want it to run, you just to select that particular method and you can run selected test. You can maximize the window as well because it is showing in minimized mode, so that you can do it in before like one time setup. What I will do is, after launching this particular Chrome driver, I'll use the driver object dot manage dot then use window dot maximize. So this maximize the particular launched window. So let me run test method 2 here. So you can select and run any of the test scripts which is listed under the particular test explorer tab. Yeah, it is running perfectly. So that's all for this four attributes. I mean, one is TestFixture attribute, second one is a test attribute, and another two are OneTimeSetUp and OneTimeTearDown. So you can run all the test scripts one time as well. So right, you suppose in case if you wanted to run at a time all the test scripts, just select on this particular node traits, right click on that, then you say run selected test. Because just now I told you the one-time setup attribute functionality and one-time teardown attribute functionality, because before running this particular all the three scripts, I mean these three scripts, this one-time setup will be getting executed. After running these all the test methods 3, then it will close this particular browser. So in our case, what is happening? It is launching one time and it is entering Selenium C Sharp. After launching that particular browser and after opening that particular URL, it is entering one time Selenium C Sharp. Again, it is entering the Selenium C Sharp in the same field. Again, it is entering the Selenium C Sharp in the same field. Then finally, it is closing the browser. That's all. And you can observe this by debugging it, or you can run and you can observe, because also you can put a thread.sleep in this test method 3 and you will get to know like how this all the text is entering or not. Let me show you. So if I write thread.sleep, I'll say 5000. Just a second, just I will use this particular statement. Okay, that's all. So after entering Selenium C Sharp first time and second time and third time, it will wait for 5 seconds and it will close the browser. The agenda for this is to make sure that these two methods are running only one time before running all these test scripts, and after running these all the test method 3 and this particular one time teardown attribute will be executed. So if I execute this all the test, this time there will be a delay, so you can observe all the values which are entering in email text field. If you look at here, see, it has entered 3 times Selenium C Sharp. Then finally it is closing the web browser. That's all. In our next tutorial, we'll discuss what exactly this setup attribute and tear down attribute will do, and how you can categorize your test scripts, and how you can use author attribute, so you can determine that who has written that particular test script, and you can mention over their email ID and all, and you can skip a particular test script by using the ignore attribute. And we have a test case attribute in that will be passing the test data, and you can set up the priority for the test scripts, and you can enter the description for the any of the test cases, and you can parameterize automation scripts. So let us discuss other attributes in the next tutorial. So if you have any queries, you can drop an email to my Gmail ID. The next attribute, sorry, in the next tutorial, I will be discussing many other things, how to debug your Selenium C# automation script, and many other attributes we will be discussing in our next tutorial. Stay tuned for the next tutorial. Thank you so much for watching this VT tutorial.